one of the narratives that runs through this book, particularly as he becomes more sick in the last part of it, you are the relentless, you're going to be okay, there's going to be hope. If I just do enough journalism and make enough contacts here, I'll fix this. Right. And he is the almost unfailing, despite his occasional request to you really to help, voice of, it's not going to get better, deal with it. Mm-hmm. What did you learn over the course of this thing about that terrible tension between hope and reality acceptance when you're close to someone who has a terminal illness?
Oh, well, that's such a hard question, because the fact is they are so you that you're looking at yourself. You're so, that it's impossible when you're brother, sister, and 2.5 years apart I couldn't give what he was going through a reality. I couldn't see it for what it was, because it was catastrophic. Now that I had my brother, I was desperate not to lose him. And
you hadn't really had him until this happened.
I hadn't had him. We always had that cotton batting between us.
So the thing that was going to take him away.
And it was just like, it was impossible there was no distance, because we had a fierce attachment, as it's called, where when you're that locked together in this kind of angry, very strong bond, underneath that is the bond and the real attachment. So detachment and saying this is about him was impossible. And part of that relentless cheerleading going on was just my own failure to be able to say this is real and this is happening. Mm-hmm. Of course, we always think we can find a solution to everything, and we can't.
Did he teach you that?
Yes. I mean, that we sometimes things we can't understand.
If you were knowing, it's impossible, obviously, but knowing what you know now about how it was all going to play out, would you have done anything differently in the way of ongoing, this will be okay, we'll make this okay, we'll try everything kind of cheerleading?
I don't think I would have liked to say I would have been a more Buddhist, peaceful, embracing person. It's not my nature. My nature is to be that younger sister. I think I was trying to mirror what I perceived he needed, which was the optimism. We just walk around with this idea that optimism always is the way to go, and maybe silence is the way to go. I think I would try to be silent more and just ask him how he was feeling. Mm-hmm.
This is a really odd question, but I thought about it in that very moving line in your book where you said, I finally have a brother and soon I'm going to lose him. Why did you love him? Why do we love our siblings?
Oh, we love them because we share so much. They're us. No one knows us better. They are, William James often wrote about the core of self, and that core of self is often hidden from our parents. We hide from our parents, but we don't hide from our siblings. They know us so well. They know every aspect of us. It's why they can drive us crazy, but it's why when we have a problem, our impulse is to want our brother or sister right there, right next to us. No one could be closer. There's that pull, and that pull is so powerful. I mean, it was a love story, always.
Do you think you knew that before you started writing this?
I don't know what I knew. I just knew that I had to take action, that I had to be as close to my brother as I could possibly be, and that I'm sure that pull is part of it.
You don't have, you have only the one child, or you have a daughter and a stepson as well, right?
I
You
have,
have two kids.
yeah, I have one daughter and a stepson that I'm very close to.
Has this changed how you are around them when they're together?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Absolutely. That I try to listen more, and I keep, saying that my daughter Casey also has a half-brother, Adam Schwartz, that she's very close to. And I just say to all of them, you're a team, you're a team. You have each other through life, you're a team. We do a lot of things together as the two families. We just are very, very close.
Well, this seems like a good moment to open it up to any questions that you all may want to ask about the writing process, about siblings, anything else? Yes, there's a microphone out here.
Is there something that you can read to us out of the book that you don't feel we would be able to understand unless it was in your own voice? Thank you.
Oh, you want to hear something?
Something in her voice.
Oh, okay. You have any ideas?
It's a really interesting structure because it's a real sort of pastiche, right? She's put it together like a quilt. And I would say the scene that you just described where you're arriving and you first see him in the apple orchard. Do you remember exactly where that is?
I'll page through and see it.
Okay.
I might do, what do you think if I do this short scene where I describe what he looks like, and
Perfect.
this perfect scene.
Perfect. And if you want to revert to your Texas voice,
Okay.
Maureen,
Okay, great.
Go for it.
Okay, great. Well, the last time I saw my brother, we had an immense fight, and it was in his house in San Antonio, and I'm describing, the book opens with this fight. So this is a sort of a picture of my brother at this exact moment. There are always apples around him, women too. Apple pie, big chic antique bowls of wooden apples in all colors, red and gold and striped, apple ceramics, apple pencils, apple photos, produce labels framed on the library wall, Gulf brand Texas vegetables from the Rio Grande Valley, Empire Builder, Wenatchee District Red Seal brand. I'm an American first, then a Texan, he would say, not understanding he sounded like Augie March. The clues are there in the grad school classic, Augie March, I later realize. A man's character is his fate, Saul Bellow wrote, quoting Heraclitus. You always have to show off and tell us what you know, Carl said. I'll be in Washington next week, I say. I have an interview. I have to close a piece. You promised me, he says. You said you would stay away from Washington State. You sat right here and said that you would not go to the Cascades. He yells as loudly as I have ever heard him. Washington, D.C., I shout back. I have the trait as well.